Chapter 6 of Leon and the Spitting Image, entitled The Return of Napoleon. Pantyhose! P.W. exclaimed as soon as class let out. Leon nodded gravely and turned to Lily Matisse. Did your mom tell you why the hag keeps her underwear in school? Nope, said Lily Matisse. But she did see her changing glass eyes in the teacher's lounge. She stores the spares in the cabinet, said Leon. There must be 20 different kinds. I'm pretty sure today's were snake eyes, said P.W. How do you know? Said Lily Matisse skeptically. The slitty pupils, said P.W. matter-of-factly. I'll tell you one thing, Leon said. I'd take a snake bite over sewing class any day. Ditto, said P.W. Double ditto, said Lily Matisse. The sound of a car horn interrupted them. Leon quickly spotted Napoleon DeLong, the cheery taxi driver from the day before. Need a lift, Monsieur Leon? No charge for friends. Leon hesitated. He liked Napoleon. He was funny and nice, but there was a problem. Napoleon came from Haiti, and Haiti was already pinned on his map. Leon worried his taxi collection would never grow if he kept using the same driver. Go for it, P.W. urged. That way you can spend your cab fare on candy. And potato chips, Lily Matisse added. Leon considered his options. Sure, he said, accepting Napoleon's offer. A few minutes into the ride, he tapped the hack license and said, I've been wondering, Napoleon, why are you named after a pastry? Were your parents bakers? Napoleon let out a deep-bellied laugh. Oh, no, Monsieur Leon. I was named for a famous French general, and so was the pastry. But the famous Napoleon was short, and I am tall. He was white, and I am black. He was powerful, and I drive a taxi. And on top of that, I hate Napoleons. Me too, Leon admitted. Too custardy. He was wondering about how he'd feel eating a Leon, if such a pastry existed, when Napoleon said, We do that in Haiti. Do what? Name our children after important people. I have 3 brothers, Moses, Charlemagne, and Zeus, plus a sister, Cleopatra. You Americans are not interesting with your names. I guess not, Leon admitted. But tell me, said Napoleon, did my prediction come true? Did you have a 9 3/4 day? Leon sighed. Hardly. More like a negative 9 3/4. I'm sorry to hear that. It's my teacher, Leon complained. All she cares about is sewing. But art class is a good thing, Monsieur Leon. Sewing can be very useful. I'm not talking about my art teacher. I'm talking about my teacher. And she makes you sew? Yup, said Leon glumly. Napoleon shook his head in disbelief. Plus, she has these disgusting-looking ears. They're like radar dishes that she keeps hidden under her possibly fake hair. You had better tell your mother about all this. The cab pulled up to the hotel a few moments later. Napoleon parked and, as he had the day before, jumped out to open the passenger door. Au revoir, Monsieur Leon, he said with the tip of his imaginary hat. And let us hope tomorrow will be at least a 7. I'll settle for 5.5, said Leon as he pushed through the revolving door. He negotiated his way past a drably dressed woman walking a peacock and headed over to the reception desk, where his mother clearly had problems of her own. One of the guests, a rail-thin mime covered in white face paint, was shouting at her. Look, lady, we didn't book this dump expecting a conference room with a broken microphone. I apologize, sir, said Emma Zeisel. Well, apologies won't get us our mic, will they? The mime snarled. Again, I am sorry. Well, sorry doesn't cut it, he yelled. Please lower your voice, Emma Zeisel said. You are a mime, after all. The observation rendered the man speechless. He stormed off in a silent huff. Emma Zeisel turned to her son. As group bookings go, Leon, the West Coast mimes are, without a doubt, the worst. What about the rattlesnake ranchers we had last year? Remember them? At least they left me some antidote. Came in handy, too. Anyway, let's forget about the difficult guests, sweetie. Tell me about your day. Leon needed little encouragement. He provided a blow-by-blow account of the goings-on in his classroom, up to and including the business of the pantyhose. Pantyhose? Said Emma Zeisel. Why on earth would a teacher store her old stockings in school? I have no clue, Mom. All I can tell you is I need help with my threading and stitching. Plus, I need a piece of cloth for tomorrow. Emma Zeisel sighed. You know my hours, sweetie. These double shifts are a killer. But I bet Maria can get you squared away. She's a demon with a needle. After Leon updated the signboard, "Welcome, peacock breeders of Walla Walla, Washington," he sought out Maria. He found her in housekeeping, funneling bright green shampoo from a large jug into dozens of tiny bottles. "Hola, Leonito," she said. "How are you doing?" "Not good, Maria." For a third time since leaving school, Leon described his new teacher's behavior and the pantyhose she kept in class. "Is she crazy or something?" "Very crazy, Maria. She expects us to thread a needle and to learn her 7 dumb stitches. Take a look." Leon pulled the handout from his backpack. "You need Maria to help?" Maria asked. "Could you?" "No problem," she said reassuringly. After completing the shampoo transfer, Maria cleared a table and brought out her sewing basket. She reached for a spool of cotton and bit off a length of thread. "Miss Hagmeyer doesn't want us using our teeth," said Leon. Maria shook her head. "What harm can a little spit do?" "Beats me," said Leon. "Well, you show me what she taught you, this Miss Pantyhose," she said suspiciously. Leon reached for the scissors and cut a length of thread. He tried poking the thread through the eye of the needle again and again, but failed every time. "See," he moaned, "I'll never do it." "Yes, you will, Leonito," Maria countered. She expertly repositioned Leon's fingers on the scissors like a baseball coach adjusting a batter's grip. "Now, cut the thread," she said. Leon held the scissors at a steep angle and sliced another length of thread off the spool. When it came time to thread the needle, he succeeded after just 2 pokes. "Awesome!" he exclaimed. "Sharp angle, sharp cut," Maria said with a smile. "Gracias," said Leon. For the first time since school started, he felt a small measure of satisfaction. Threading became a breeze. Mastering the 7 stitches of virtue, however, proved more challenging. Fortunately for Leon, Maria remained close at hand. "No, Leonito," she corrected gently. "Watch me. For the hemming stitch, you slant the needle." Leon modified his grip and tried again. Eventually, he hemmed 3 full inches of his practice cloth. "You're a much better teacher than Miss Mushroom Ears," he said. "I've got a good student," Maria replied. Good, but not perfect. Leon only succeeded in replicating 6 of the 7 stitches of virtue. 1 stitch eluded him. The overcast. According to his handout, the overcast was the stitch used when finishing off a seam. No matter how much Leon practiced, he couldn't get the needle to obey his less than nimble fingers. He put his sewing away and was about to leave housekeeping when he remembered the other assignment. "Oh, I almost forgot, Maria. I've got to bring a towel to school tomorrow." "A towel? Why? Your teacher planning to give you a bath?" Leon laughed. "I sure hope not." Maria handed him a tattered Try More hand towel just as Emma Zeisel stuck her head in. "Sweetie, I'm on break. Frau Haffenreffer has some sandwiches waiting for us." And so, with his homework more or less done, Leon ended the day sitting across from his mom in the Trimore Towers coffee shop. He didn't want to gripe about school, but he couldn't stop himself. Over PB&J, extra J, and a bag of Zapp's kettle-cooked mesquite barbecue potato chips, his current favorite, Leon complained about his needle-wielding teacher. 9 months, Mom. I'll have to deal with the hag for 9 months. That's 270 days. You'll be fine, said Emma Zeisel, sounding more wishful than confident. And besides, there's no need to include weekends. Whatever, said Leon morosely. Depressing thoughts about sewing gnawed at Leon long after he'd finished dinner. They were still with him when he climbed into bed. What had he done to deserve the hag? Why'd she have to scream at him? Would his entire year be filled with pink scraps of material, terry cloth hand towels, and liver-colored pantyhose? Would he be able to handle the work? Click, click, click. Buzz. From the far side of the bedroom wall, the Ice Queen started casting her evil spell. All hope of sleep disappeared. Grind, groan, rumble, crash. Leon rose from his bed and nervously paced around his room. The circuit took all of 10 seconds to complete. He looked at his stuff. There was the fuzzy picture of his dad, taken a few months before the explosion at the factory. An empty fish tank that had briefly contained a piranha left by one of the guests. And of course the map of the world, with the pins marking the taxi drivers Leon had collected. After 6 or 7 laps, Leon returned to bed. He tried to muffle the grinding noises of the ice maker by burrowing deep under his covers, but that did next to nothing. The Ice Queen's mechanical hex lasted most of the night, spurred on by minds whose loud-mouthed antics and desire for ice kept Leon awake.